this is our last Hari Katha. There's a difference between Hari Katha and preaching.
In case somebody comes with
everyone please turn off your phone. I'd be grateful. Agyanatimirandasya gyananjana shalakaya chakshurumilitam jena tasmai shri gurave namah. Devam narayanam bande brindavana nivasinam anantam bhushita koti vatsalya rupinam. Namasheshtam manumapi sachiputram atra sarupam rupam tasya grajam rupurim maturim gostavatim radha kundam girivaram aho radhikamadavasham praptoyasya pratita kripaya shri guru tam natosmi. Namaste gurudevaya sarvasiddhi pradayine Saiva Mangala Rupa Saivananda Vidayine Radha Sammukha Samsaktim Sakhi Sangha Nivasinim Tamaham Satatam Bande Guru Rupam Param Sakim Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Manamanasa Vilasa Shirupachinta Savalita San Shri Radhika Dasya Tishtatu Kibhavaha Abhira Palipati Putta Kanta Dasya Vilasati Balasavara Shirupachinta Malam Sapti Samstu Matsvanta Durdanta Hai Churastam Yam pravajantam anupetam apeta kritam daipayano viraha katara juhava putreti tanmayataya taravo vinedu tam sarva bhuta hridayam munamana prisma nityanandam aham vande karnilambita moktikam chaitanya graja rupena pavitrikrita bhutadam Navojjaladi bhavana vidhana kama paragam vichitra gaura bhakti sindurasa bhanga rasinam suraga marga darshakam brajadi vasadayakam bhajamyaham gadadharam supanditam gurum pravim. Aham kanaka ketaki kusuma gaura dustakshito nadoshalabhadarshita vivida dosha punepite Ata pravanaya diya kripanavat salatam vaje Sachi sutamai pravo kurumukunda mande kripam Balaya balabhadraya kalankaya namo nama Nilambaraya gauraya rohinaya te nama. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Radhe Vrindavanadishe Karunamrita Vahini Kripaya Nijapadabja Dasyam Mayam Pradiyatam Tambula Panapada Madana Payodana Visaradide Vrindaranyam Maheshwarim Prataya Yastosayanti Priya Prana Prashta Saki Kulada Pikila Sankochita Bhumika Keli Bhumi Sharupa Mandiri Mukas Tadasika Samsray Vrindaye Tulasi Devai Praye Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Sattvatai Namo Namah Radhe Shakeli Prabhuta Vinoda Vinyasa Vigyam Brajavanditam Vim Kripalu Tadakila Vishwavandam Shipurnamasim Shirasam Namaste Girirajaya Shigovardhana Namine Ashesha Klesha Nashaya Paramananda Daine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Kamaniya Kishore Mugdha Murte Kalavenu Kvanitajitananda Mama Vachi Vijambitam Murare Nadurimna Kanika Api Kapi Kapi. So first of all, I offer Dhanavad Pranam to our Holy Master. Paramaraditama Shri Guru Pada Padma Om Vishnu Pada Stotra Hatashi Shimad Bhakti Vedanta Shri Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And I say Dhanavad Pranam in the dust of the lotus feet of Ashura Prabhupada, Nityalura Pravishta Shri Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada, and to our whole Rupa Nuga Gaudiya Guru Vaga, and to all Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis that ever have been or ever will be. And everyone who's come, friends and guests, everyone with desire to hear some Hari Katha, I beg for everyone's blessings that some Hari Katha can come through this broken vessel. So after millions of lifetimes of being lost in darkness of ignorance and misery, birth and death, after millions of lifetimes of futile existence, we've come to the shelter of Shri Krishna Balaram. We're at the lotus feet of Shri Krishna Balaram. And we have everything in their lotus feet. They are the Supreme Absolute Truth. They're the same Advaigyan Paratattva, the Supreme, undivided, absolute whole, the very fabric of existence, the oneness, the truth that binds everything together. They are one, but they are two. They are everything, and everything is theirs. Their energy. They are one Godhead, and yet two special features. Sevya Bhagavan and Sevak Bhagavan. God, wanting to taste, to enjoy, is Krishna. And God wanting to taste and enjoy, giving taste and enjoyment, he's Balaram. And very difficult to decide who is superior. Who's the boss? Balaram is tip-to-toe servant. Adidas. We were saying last night. The original servant. And Krishna is the sole enjoyer. And yet Balaram is tasting so much enjoyment and giving enjoyment to Krishna. Krishna has unlimited appetite for affection, for love, for enjoyment, for pleasure, for pastimes. Unlimited, ever-expanding appetite to enjoy. And Balaramji, he has unlimited appetite to satisfy Krishna. Krishna wants ever new flavors, ever new pastimes, ever new tastes of ras. And Balaram, he wants to give pleasure to Krishna in ever new, ever fresh ways. Balaram, because he's God and can do anything he wants, has no limit whatsoever to his will, he expands himself unlimitedly to serve his brother. He becomes the playground and the playmates and the playthings of Krishna. He himself becomes Vrindavan Dham. Vrindavan is Balaram. Vrindavan Dham is Baladev's Swarup. He expands himself to become the stage for Krishna's pastimes. And he expands himself to become the other players on the stage. All of the eternal associates of Shri Krishna, all Sri Ram, Subal, Madhamangal, Nanda Baba, cows, trees, everything is actually Balaram. He himself expands to become all the eternal associates of Krishna. Except for Radhika, of course. Balaram comes from the right side of Krishna, from the left side comes Radhika, and from her expands all Braja Gopis. But besides that department, and paradoxically, including that department, actually all of the eternal associates, the players on the stage, they're all Balaram's expansion. Like there are millions and millions of different types of gopis. Why? Because Radhika has millions of desires to please Krishna, millions of moods of service, and so she expands to become millions and millions of forms to serve him in millions of ways. And each gopi is a different manifestation of one particular of her unlimited moods of service. In the same way, every bumblebee, every squirrel, every peacock, every cloud in the sky showering mist on Krishna when it's hot, everything and everyone in Braj is Balaram's expansion. So he's the playground, he's the playmates, and he's also the playthings. He's all the paraphernalia. He's so eager to serve Krishna. When Krishna wants to drink water, then Balaram becomes the cup pressed to his lips. When Krishna wants to tie his hair in the turban, Balaram becomes the turban. Balaram is his clothes, his ornaments. Balaram is hanging on his ears in the form of kundala, golden earrings, kissing his cheeks constantly, showing the world how beautiful is this person, how beautiful is my Krishna, by shimmering, throwing golden light on his cheeks in the form of earrings. All of his ornaments, all of his clothes, all of his paraphernalia, his flute, his stick. If he wants to wear shoes, Balaram becomes those shoes to protect his feet. Balaram's appetite to serve Krishna is absolutely unlimited. He serves Krishna in every mood. He serves Krishna as a servant. He massages Krishna's feet when Krishna is tired from cow herding. They sit under a tree in the shade together, and Balaram, on his soft lap, he takes Krishna's lotus bud-like feet, and with all the mood in his heart, feeling these lotus feet are the wealth of my life, he worships those lotus feet in the mood of dasya. And he also jests with Krishna and wrestles with Krishna in the mood of sakya, like friends. Sometimes, just to give Krishna special happiness in his human-like pastimes, he'll even insult Krishna or make Krishna cry as a baby. He tells Krishna, "Oh, mother and father, they're fair, but you're black. I think you must have been adopted. Maybe you're not really their son. I think that some blackish aboriginal forest people, they begot you and they thought you were ugly and they didn't want you, so they put you in a hole of a tree and abandoned you. And Nanda Baba came one day and found you there crying in the tree and took you home. But really you're not the son of Yashoda and Nanda." Like that, and Krishna cries and goes home. Sakya, this mode of, it's actually friendship. Boys are like that. Part of boys' friendship is insulting each other, pushing each other, wrestling, put the other guy down. It tastes so much in that, actually. Balaram may be doing like that, making Krishna cry and telling on Krishna. Krishna ate dirt, Maya. Look in his mouth, he ate dirt today. Krishna's like, don't say anything, I didn't do it. Doesn't want to get caught, but for pastimes, Balaram is tattletaling on him. But in his heart, all he's thinking is how to please my brother. My brother wants to taste pastimes like a little boy. So in dasya, in sakya, like friendship, and his big brother, so vatsalya, so much protective mood. When they go to cow herding, Balaram is always looking back to see his brothers. If Krishna's sweating, any one drop of sweat coming on his forehead, then somehow he will remove that. In every way he's nourishing. And when he wants to taste even the highest possible love and affection, he wants to taste madhurya, he wants to serve Krishna in every way. If there's no limit, then he also wants to serve like lover and beloved. But how is it possible? So he expands himself and becomes an Anga Manjari. The older brother of Shri Krishna becomes the younger sister of Radhika and serves the divine couple. Baladev becomes Sri Ananga Manjari. In every mood, in every ras, in every possible way. In Shantaras, he's serving as all the paraphernalia. Dasyaras, doing seva. Sakyaras, like a friend. Vatsalya, like a big brother. And Madhurya, in the form of a maidservant of Krishna, along with his beloved Radhika. So as much as Krishna desires to taste his ever-expanding, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says it's such a miracle, a mystery and an astonishment of praying, that thing which is unlimited, it has no end, you can never find the end of it. It's already forever and forever and forever, and yet at every moment it's expanding. There's no room left for it to expand, and yet it's expanding at every moment. So Krishna's appetite for love is like that. Unlimited desire for us, and at every moment Balaram is fulfilling all of his desires, and at that same moment Krishna's desires are expanding, and Balaram's capacity to fulfill is expanding. Krishna's tasting as Vishai, the enjoyer, and Balaram is tasting as Ashray, the giver of enjoyment. Both are tasting. So is it that Balaram is fulfilling and facilitating Krishna's desire to taste, or is it that Krishna's desire to taste is fulfilling the desire of Balaram to serve? We can't decide. They're eternal competition, wrestling match. In the morning time, when they're small, the village ladies and friends of Yashoda, they come and they tell Krishna Balaram, oh, you two should wrestle, and who is the winner? We'll give a cup of chach, some buttermilk. And they're both small and they're both drooling for the chach, and they look at each other and slap their arms, and they're naked, little chubby little boys, completely naked, just with golden bell on their waist. And they go arm to arm, wrestling. Sometimes Krishna wins, sometimes Balaram wins. Can't tell who's superior. Sometimes Krishna wins, sometimes Balaram wins. When they go for cow herding though, Balaram is elder brother, so he goes in front, and Krishna follows behind. And when they ride on their chariots in Puri, Balaram's older brother, so he goes in front, and Krishna goes behind. So in that way, okay, Balaram's senior. But when Krishna's desire changes, now I want to go to Mathura. Now I want to kill Kamsa. Now I want to go to Dwarka and marry thousands of queens and have opulence pastimes. Then Balaram follows Krishna, because he can't be without Krishna. And because he manifests the Dham and the paraphernalia and everything, then Krishna can't be without Balaram. There's no pastimes without Balaram. So they're both following each other and hand in hand. Very deep mystery. We want the material mind sees things in black and white. Black and white. But actually they're one. They are together the supreme absolute truth. They are Bhagavan. Sevya and Sevak Bhagavan. The enjoyer of service and the enjoyer of serving. How astonishing. Krishna Bhagavan. We are so fortunate, after millions of lifetimes, to come to this gorgeous paradox. This thing which our mind cannot resolve. Spiritual life means mind can't digest, can't dissolve. We can talk about Tattva Siddhanta, but it won't be enough. When we come to the cusp, the gateway of paradox, only bhajan can explain inside of our heart, between the lines of what the philosophical treatises on the principle of Godhead say. By doing bhajan, by loving them, we'll understand them. By worshipping them, doing puja to their lotus feet, then we'll understand them. Otherwise not. And the only way that we'll really fully understand them is by attaining a form, a spiritual body which is qualified to come into their presence, really to be with them. We'll understand them when we hear their laughter, when we hear the way they joke with each other and jest. When we see how they glance at each other, how in the midst of jesting and teasing, Balaram's heart is melting with affection. And from the corners of his eyes, he's always watching, how's my brother? always worried if any demons will come to Vrindavan today. Always in anxiety for Krishna's happiness. So they're in eternal competition also. When Krishna wants to go to Mathura, then Balaram goes. When he goes to Dwarka, he goes. When Krishna wants to go to Ayodhya, become Ram, then he also goes, following behind as Lakshman. When Krishna wants to go to Vaikuntha, he also goes as Mahasankarsha, to the expansion of Narayan. When Krishna wants to have a dream, when he wants to take a nap and forget about reality and have a strange dream that's called the material existence, he lays down in the Karanadakashayi Vishnu, in the Karanadakashayi ocean, the causal ocean. He lays down there and Balaram becomes his bed. Big snake, Ananta Shesh. So smooth and cool. The coils of Ananta. Milk white. And as the Lord is dreaming and the material world is coming from his millions and millions of material universes, expanding from his breath as he dreams. So Ananta Shesh, with thousands and thousands and thousands of hoods with mouths singing, he sings the pastimes of Krishna. He sings the glories, the kirtan of Krishna's name, form, qualities, and pastimes. And Ananta Shesh, since infinite immemorial time, has been singing Krishna's pastimes with thousands and thousands of mouths incessantly. And he hasn't come to the end. This competition is going on there also between Ananta Shesh and Hari Katha. How much Ananta Shesh can sing Hari Katha, Lila Katha, that much more Lila Katha and Hari Katha is expanding. Unlimited. Who will win? Who will win? At every stage, they're fulfilling each other's desires and in the form of a competition. Ecstatic, supremely intimate, loving competition. Who will please the other more? So who is master and who is servant? Prem breaks these designations. We may be also ourselves a tiny little insignificant jivatma, and Bhagavan is unlimited, expansive. But when we come to the stage of Prem, it becomes same stage. Prem cannot tolerate any difference. Prem makes everyone equal. Only Prem is supreme. Prem conquers and controls everyone, even Krishna Balaram. Ultimately, the Bible says God is love and love is God. That's what it means. God means the supreme controller. Well, if even Krishna Balaram are controlled by Prem, then Prem must be God. So Balaram follows Krishna. Krishna follows Balaram. When Krishna wants to taste Ram Leela, every day they go to forest in Braj for cow herding. And Balaram goes in front. But when Krishna decides, I want to go to the forest in a different mood. I want to go as a hermit, as an exile. I want to go as Ram. Then Lakshman, he follows behind. In the forest, they walk. First comes Ram, then Sita, then Lakshman in the back. According to Krishna's mood, he adjusts himself because he has no independent desire whatsoever. And Lakshman, Balaram, when he becomes Lakshman or any form, because he's the Khanda Guru Tattva, he's the source of all gurus. He's the Guru principle itself. He's the original Guru. He's the original spiritual master. Because he's serving in every possible capacity, and he's the original servant in every capacity, therefore he's expert how to teach us to serve. Therefore he's Guru. And Guru means expert in all arts of service. So Lakshmanji. Ram Lakshman, they came after going to Gurukul. On their way home, they went to Janakpur to see the city of Janak Maharaj. He was so famous king, and his kingdom was also very famous. And so they came there, and they took permission from their Gurudev, Vishwamitra. We want to see the famous royal gardens of Janak. So they went to the gardens in the early morning. And so beautiful, expansive, landscape, more than any heavenly planets, more than Vaikuntha. Janak Maharaj's gardens were so gorgeous. Why? Because Sita had taken her birth there, and she's the goddess of fortune. So the whole land is blooming with all types of opulence, all types of flowers and buds, so thick, the air is so thick with the fragrance of flowers that it would slow you down if you tried to run. So heavy atmosphere, so rich with the perfume. So charming bowers and gardens and pathways with moonstones. Ponds and lakes with big golden goldfish and swans and lotuses, bundles and bundles of lotuses crowding the shoreline. So astonishing. But Sri Ram, as he was wandering, touching with his lotus hands and making those creepers blossom with happiness, he saw through the foliage parting as he was walking by, he heard some laughter. And he looked through, just passing by, through a break in the trees, and he saw one type of flower he'd never seen. A very beautiful, beautiful lotus-faced Janaki. Princess Sita, she was walking with all of her sakis, her girlfriends and maidservants. Just a young girl, 14 years old, strolling in the early morning, picking flowers with her friends. Because that day is her Swayamvar. She's supposed to be married. And so picking flowers to offer to Devi. Oh, please, Devi, let me get a good husband. Let me not get stuck with the wrong person. Somehow let my soulmate come to me. So picking flowers and laughing and joking with her friends, Sri Ram, he glimpsed her beauty just in the passing moment, and he became stunned. Sri Ram, so many good qualities. He's that same Sri Krishna, but now in the mood of Maryada Purushotta, supreme personality of nobility and character and self-control. He's the perfect king and perfect prince, perfect son, perfect disciple, perfect example. And his mind became agitated, and he grabbed the shoulder of his brother, Lakshmana. He said, Bhaya, in my life I've never felt lusty. I've always controlled my mind. I've always been grave and sober, only thinking of the lotus feet of Guru and our parents and how to do my dharma. But today I'm losing my composure. What did I see in the garden? He said, I feel like I've loved her for millions of lifetimes, like since forever, like she's my own soul. He became like that. He opened his heart to Lakshmana. And Lakshmana knew his brother's heart and mind, knew everything because he's perfect servant. He's Guru Tattva. Guru means who knows Krishna's heart. Guru means who knows how to fulfill all the desires of the Lord. Who never misses a beat, who never misses the mark. Who's expert how to satisfy the Lord. So Lakshmana, he knew everything, what to do. Oh, Prabhu. Oh, Maya, don't worry. I will arrange. Ram said, I have to. Somehow, I don't know what to do. I'm stumbling. My mind is stuttering, spinning. Lakshmana gave him shelter in the same way that Ananta Shesh gives shelter to Vishnu. Lakshmana gave shelter to the overwhelmed mind of Ram. Don't worry, I'll take care. But listen, you can't go in front of her like this, coming from living in Gurukul, sleeping on the floor, doing tapasya and Guru Seva. You can't come like this. Come with me. And Lakshmana, because he's Guru Tattva, expert in all arts, and art means only one thing. Art means how to render various types of pleasing service. That's what art is. We've been speaking all week about poetry in the devotional line. But really there's no such thing as poetry outside of the devotional line. Poetry means how to please the Lord with words. That's what it's for. That's what it is. If it's not for Him, it's not poetry. So Lakshmana, expert in all arts, he picked so many flowers very quickly. He made a beautiful crown of lotuses for Sri Ramchandra. And grinding minerals, he painted on his beautiful parrot green complexion with bright white and yellow pigments, beautiful curling designs and vines down his strong arms to accentuate his chest and arms, to bring out like a frame. You know, you put a golden frame on a picture and then it comes out. So to frame the beautiful chest of Sri Ram, which is like the playground of Cupid, he put a beautiful bright garland of 5 types of forest flowers around his shoulders. Beautiful lotus flowers over his ears and armlets and bracelets and belts of flowers to embellish, to bring attention, to show the real beauty of Sri Ram. And then he set the trap. He said, Prabhu, come. He brought Ram to the right place where Sita and her friends were walking along, picking flowers and laughing and talking in the early morning dew. And there, Lakshman, he set his trap. He put Ram, stand here. And he let like a curtain down, he let down the grapevines. And just when Sita was coming, just nearby, just at that moment, perfect timing, Sri Lakshman reached over and pulled open the curtains so that just as she turned her head, suddenly, overwhelmingly, too much, like no time to prepare, no time to defend, the darshan of Sri Ram shot through her heart. Arrow of his gorgeosity, inconceivable. And the two of them, the divine couple, beheld each other. And without a word, gave themselves to each other. By the expertise of Sri Lakshman, how he's expert, how to serve. So delicate. His mind is so genius in delicacies of love. How to decorate Ram so beautifully. And later when they were exiled and went to the forest, with his hands, he would pick so many types of vines and flowering things and bamboos, willow trees, cut and make the kutirs for the divine couple, Sri Sita Ram. He would make kutirs, make cottages for them to live in. How to pass 14 years. They're the royal couple. Sita Devi's a princess. She's never walked on the earth in her life. She's always walked on marble or crystal floors or been carried in a palanquin. And now she has to live in the forest. Lakshman couldn't tolerate that she who deserves the highest type of comfort and convenience will have any inconvenience. And so he made so beautiful, opulent kutirs for them to live in. Bending willow trees, cut branches and stick in the ground, then they root and grow again, so that those kutirs were alive, growing and flowering. The very walls of their cottages were alive with flowers and fresh foliage. How genius, how delicate his heart, Lakshman. And yet, at the same time, so full of rage to defend his brother for the slightest thing. He was ready the moment that he heard, oh, Father Dasarath Maharaj wants that my brother Ram will go to forest for 14 years. He said, oh brother, just give me permission. I will throw this old madman in prison. He's not fit to be king. You're the eldest son. Everywhere in Shastra and everywhere in history we see the eldest son becomes king, and now for no reason the king wants to send his eldest son and most qualified son, who's meant to be king on this very day, to the forest and put Bharat in his place for no reason except that he's controlled by his wife, controlled by lust. This king is unfit. I will throw him in prison. This king. All he knows is Ram Seva. And when they went to forest, and Bharat Maharaj came, when he heard, oh my God, in my name Ram has been sent to the forest. I didn't know about this, I don't want this. He came, I will bring Ram back by force and put him on the throne. And Bharat came with a whole army and everyone and everything ready to coronate Ram right there on the spot in the forest. To bathe him and crown him in the forest and bring him home like the king that he is. But when Lakshman heard the rumbling of the horses and elephants and chariots, and he climbed on a tree and he saw in the distance the flags of Bharat coming, he thought, oh, this is Bharat's final stroke, his espionage. He wants to kill Ram, coming with the whole army while we were alone in the forest with nothing but sticks and trees. He wants to come with army and kill Ram so that after 14 years Ram can't take back the throne. And Lakshman, he began to take his arrow to his bow, ready to kill the world, ready to burn the world down, to kill his own brother and the entire army single-handedly. So much rage for his brother, for love. So on one side, so delicate, so expert, so rasik, and on the other side, so powerful, so uncontrollably powerful. And Guru is like that, softer than a rose, and harder than a thunderbolt. Shri Balaram, Shri Lakshman, he is Guru Tattva. We see that everywhere. Real Guru is like that, softer than a rose, Real Guru will give us more love and affection than we can ever get from millions of mothers in millions of lifetimes. And yet, will cut us to the core in a way we've never been cut, cutting the cancer of our false ego. Others may bruise or agitate our false ego, but Sri Guru will cut it to the core, uproot, and pull out. Oh, love and affection, the medicine of love and affection, and the knife, the surgical knife, to cut away the disease. Sri Guru. So Lakshmana like that. And then, when Krishna wants to taste Kirtan Ras, when Krishna's heard so much from Ananta Shesh, he's heard so much Kirtan from Ananta and from the parrots in Vrindavan and from all the devotees and all of the sages singing hymns, and he's so much intoxicated by that Kirtan, he's saying, I want to do Kirtan also. And more than that, deeper meanings we know, I want to know what is the love in the heart of Radhika. Balaram may be the original servant, but Radhika is anyhow inconceivably supreme servant. She tastes the most, more even than Balaram, pleasure of serving Krishna. Millions and millions and millions of times more. And when Krishna wants to taste that, he becomes Gauranga. And Balaram, following behind, becomes Nityananda. But he comes first. Actually, when Mahaprabhu was born, Nityananda was already 12 years old. And when Mahaprabhu was born, Nityananda left home. On the pretext of going on pilgrimage, he roamed all around India for 23 years. Why? Because he knew in the future my brother will take sannyas, and my brother will roam everywhere. Doing his sannyas lila, he will travel everywhere. And so Nityananda, because he's Dhameshwar, because he's the platform of everything, he went everywhere to make everything ready. To make the earth ready to hold the lotus feet of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Like we hear that when the cows heard that, oh, tomorrow Krishna, little Krishna will begin to go for cow herding, his first cow herding, now he's going to start his cowherd boy pastimes. In the night, all the cows went out from the cowherd, from the goshalas, the cow sheds. And in the night, with their hooves, bam, 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 they crushed all the stones in Braj to powder, like baby powder. So that now when we go to Braj Vrindavan, we walk everywhere, we see the dust is, the Brajaduli is softer than silk. Because cows heard, oh, our Krishna is going to wander barefoot here, everywhere in Vrindavan. They couldn't tolerate. They broke loose in the night, bam, 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 crushed all the stones to powder. In the same way, Balaram knew, Nityananda knew, my brother will roam everywhere as a sannyasi with bare feet. So he went everywhere to make the platform. He roamed ahead. But after a while, he became restless, especially when in the course of his roamings, he came to Vrindavan. And when he came to Vrindavan, the mood in his heart, his Baladev Swarup, became so intense, so overwhelming. Nityananda was huge, like 7 feet tall, and massive, broad shoulders and a thin waist, like a lion. Such a huge person. And mad in ecstasy of a 5-year-old cowherd boy. Sometimes he was completely naked. Or if he was wearing anything, he would wear a kopan, a piece of underwear, but he wore it on his head like a turban. Mad person. In the mood of a 5-year-old boy, he's not thinking, well, clothes. They don't wear clothes as children. They have no shame, no shyness. Huge man, but completely naked in that mood. Roaming everywhere with the cows, and all the cows would come close to him and he would stroke them. And he would ask any cowherd boys that he saw there, hey, where's Kanaya, where's Kanaya? And everyone saw this big naked madman. And sometimes he would go to the Yamuna, and any young little girl was there, tiny young little girl, she's scooping water in her pot for her mother to bring back. And Nityananda would say, will you marry me? Tiny little girl, and this gigantic naked man is asking, can you marry me? Because he's just playing in the mood of a cowherd boy. Thinking like that, I'm little. But he became so overwhelmed, especially in Vrindavan. That mood of Balaram became so thick. In 23 years, he'd been wandering. When will Kanaya come? He knew, my Krishna will come. But where is he? Where is he? 23 years had passed, and he was holding, tolerating the separation. But it became intolerable when he came to Vrindavan, and especially he came to Shringarvat, on the banks of the Yamuna. near Sevakunj, just by where Srila Prabhupada did his bhajan in Radha Damodar. That place, Nityananda Prabhu, he became overwhelmed there. And just like a plantain tree, like a banana tree, cut at the root, he became overwhelmed and he fell flat to the ground like that. Smashed in the dust and felt so much longing, so much pain of longing. When will I see the face of my brother? Where is my brother? When will I hold his hand when we go for cow herding? Where are you, Bhai? Why are you hiding from me so long? And just like we take sandalwood and we grind on a stone to make sandalwood paste, he ground his body on the ground, on the earth, as if to make his body paste. And the Devas, seeing this scene in such pathetic mood of longing and separation, and how he's going to break his body bruised and bleeding. So an aerial voice came and said, "You'll not find your Kanaya here in Vrindavan. He's in Navadvip. And he's not Kanaya, he's Nimai. No more Kanai, now Nimai. You go and find him there." And Nityananda, he went to Navadvip. And he came so far, and after so many years roaming, looking, searching for his brother, and finally he came to Navadvip, he came to Mayapur, and he's asking everyone, "Where's Kanaya?" And I said, "We don't know Kanaya. Where's Kanaya? Where's Kanaya? We don't know Kanaya, but we know Nimai." He said, "Oh yeah, right, Nimai. Oh, Nimai Pandit, he's there, just this way." Everyone knows Nimai Pandit. In Navadvip, everyone knows him like everyone knows Krishna in Vrindavan. He's the heart of everything. "Oh, Nimai, this way." And he came just down the road from the house of Jagannath Mishra in Sachimata. He was just there, just a few hundred yards away, and he thought, then some man came in his heart, some sulky mood. He said, "I've been waiting so long, and I came so far, and he can't even come meet me?" He said, "I'm not taking another step." And he went to the house of Nandanacharya. He knocked on my door. Because he's a wandering mendicant, "Let me stay with you, okay? But on one condition, you don't tell anyone where I am. Don't tell anyone that I'm staying here, okay?" And Nandanacharya, he brought the Lord into his house. And Nityananda, he sat there and wept, waiting, "Where is my Nimai?" And Nimai Pandit, Shri Chaitanya, he told all his associates that morning. He woke up and he said, "I had such an astonishing dream last night." He said, "I dreamt that a very amazing person came rolling into town on a giant golden chariot. He was wearing, his complexion was white like a snow-capped mountain, shimmering like ice in the Himalayas. He had one sparkling earring on his left ear, and beautiful on his whitish, milk-white, moon-white limbs, he had deep blue, Yamuna's blue, silken garments. And so beautiful, and a flag with a palm tree was blowing on his chariot. I think that some great soul has come to Navadvip. All of you, all my friends, you should go search. Some great personality has come. He's very tall, and very strong, and astonishingly beautiful." And so they went and searched for the whole day. 9 hours they looked here and there, knocking on the doors. "Did any great person come? No, you haven't seen anybody." And finally they came back and they said, "Prabhu, oh Nimai, we couldn't find any person. No one's come." Nimai, he got up and himself walked straight to the house of Nandanacharya. He knocked on the door, and Nandanacharya opened, he saw the Lord standing on his doorstep. He was excited. And he said, "Has some great person come here? You hiding someone in here?" And Nandanacharya said, "Oh Prabhu, does the sun have to ask where the moon is?" They're always following each other around. And the moon is always shining with the light of the sun. Does the sun have to ask? And in that way, without saying, "Yes, he's here," glancing toward the mandir, toward the temple room, and Nimai Pandit came in with his friends. When they came into the temple room, there was this gorgeous, huge person, Nityananda, completely absorbed in his bhajan, like a mountain, sitting so deep and grave and absorbed. And tears were falling down his cheeks and splashing on his chest. And when he heard someone had come in, and his meditation broke, and his lotus-like eyes opened slowly, like when the sun rises and the lotuses open in the morning, so slowly returning from that inner world, he opened his eyes and he beheld the face of his brother. After so long time. And the two of them, Nimai Nitai, stunned, seeing each other for the first time in so long time. And nobody said anything, just looking. And everything they're saying without words. Volumes and volumes and volumes of how I've been waiting for you, where have you been? And all the associates of Mahaprabhu, they were looking at the Lord, they were looking at Nityananda, they were looking at the Lord, looking at Nityananda. What's going on? They're both like frozen statues. And finally, Srivas Thakur, knowing the hearts of both, knowing by his perfection, because he's Narad Rishi inside, because he's Mahabhagavat, omniscient, he knew who they both were. And he sang one verse. Varhapidam natavadavapo kanayo karnikaram Vibradvaso kanakakapisham vaijayantim chamaram Randran venu radarasudayam purayan gopa brinda Brindaranyam sokadaramanam pravishadi kirti. One verse from Bhagavatam describing how Krishna is going for cow herding, entering the forest of Vrindavan, how he's dressed like the best of dancers, how he's decorated his chest decorated with a forest flower garland, and nectar of his lips is blowing through the holes of his flute, and with his brother Dauji Bhaya, these two Gowalas, cowboys, going to forest, surrounded by cows and their friends, blowing on trumpets and singing their glories. These two superlatively handsome personalities, with ropes over their shoulders for binding the cows, and flowers in their hair. On the one side, they're so strong, so rugged, full of perspiration from exerting and blowing on their trumpets. And on the other side, with their soft lotus hands, so affectionately stroking the cows' necks. They're so powerful, and yet so sweet and soft. How they're laughing and joking and proudly tossing their curls. Their hair is tied in top knots, but falling loose, and some parts are spilling to their cheeks. Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar says it's the loose, unkempt hair is like, he described it as agreeable negligence. Very sweet way that they neglect to tie up their hair properly. So that like black bumblebees trying to taste the nectar of lotus flowers, a white lotus and a blue lotus, their curls are bumping against their cheeks. How beautiful they are. These two Gowalas, cowboys, who are God. And when they heard that verse, Gauranitai heard that verse, they became overwhelmed with that bhav, just like the dam broke. So many years of separation, so many years waiting for each other. And now they heard that, and the dam broke, and that flood of Braj Ras came out, and they charged each other. Just like two big bulls would charge each other, they'd charge each other in an embrace. And embraced each other so hard they both fell unconscious, collapsed on the ground. And they were unconscious for a long time. And finally, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he woke first. He came to external senses. And when he woke and saw his brother again he became immersed in separation mood. They're meeting, but at the time of meeting, the feeling of the separation that they've held for so long, it comes out. It's a mystery of love, how there can be meeting and separation and meeting. When we're separated from the one that we love, we meet with them inside by thinking so deeply about them. And that's called bhajan. Krishna is so far away. Gurudev is so far, I can't see him now, he's gone to Nitya Lila. But chanting and remembering him, inside a special type of meeting takes place. And in meeting, there's separation. Oh, when we come together, then everything breaks loose. How I was passing my days with so much pain and difficulty without you. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he scooped up Nityananda in his arms, just like a baby, like a huge, massive, powerful baby. In his arms, and weeping and rocking and holding him on his lap. And Nityananda was so deep, so far deep in that Braj Leela, so deeply immersed in cow herding, grazing with his brother. And And Gadadhar Pandit said, oh, look at this scene, so astonishing. Just like when, it looks like when Lakshman was shot by the weapon of, what's his name? Meghanath. And he was lying dead in the arms of Ram, and Ram was weeping. Look, it's like that same scene again. As if Ram is holding Lakshman. Now we see our Gauda holding Nitai. Or look how roles have been reversed. How Vishnu, he lays on the lap of Ananta. Now look, Ananta's laying on the lap of Vishnu. So like, sometimes, Balaram is always giving shelter to Krishna's pastimes. He's always the platform, he's always doing everything. But sometimes, like we see here, he also takes a break on Krishna. Krishna also gives shelter to him. Because the roles can reverse. Sometimes Krishna will massage him when they're tired from cow grazing. Because both are God, both are Bhagavan, and both are the same soul in two forms. So astonishing, the mystery of Bhagavan. How fortunate, after millions and millions of lifetimes roaming in darkness, we've come to the lotus feet of the Supreme Absolute Truth, Sri Krishna Balaram. And God is a person. God is a pair of brothers. How astonishing. Chew on that when you chant your Hari Nam. Chew on that and what juice comes out. So astonishing thing. We're so lucky that it turns out God isn't just light or spirit or mind or me, thank God. God is beautiful, superlatively handsome, gorgeous, Cupid of Cupids. And he has a brother who's also God. And they're the same person, and yet they're two, and it's like, wow. And not only that, but the whole of Vrindavan is God. And everyone there is God. God is not just light, God is not just a person, God is persons. God is a pastime playground. So we're very, very lucky. Because Balaram, in the form of Sri Guru, has come in our life. Actually, Balaram, he's the emperor and the possessor and the guardian of Hari Katha. Like Ananta Shesh, he speaks all Hari Katha. Ananta Shesh is the guru of Shivji. Shivji spoke Bhagavatam, and Shukadev heard it as a parrot from Shiva. But Shiva heard from Ananta Shesh, from Balaram. The treasure of Krishna's life is his own kirtan. He loves kirtan so much. The kirtan of his name, form, qualities, and pastimes is his treasure. And where do you keep your treasure? With someone who's totally trustworthy. So he's invested the treasure of his katha with Baladev, with Sri Gurudev. And our Guru Parampara, flowing through our Guru Parampara, just like the boys wear this Upanayan. Upanayan is like Ananta Shesh. Under shelter of Ananta Shesh, we can do anything. Any seva. Otherwise, not possible. And also, this is our Guru Parampara. So, this is our last program, and I have to say, I cannot be ungrateful to Balaram. All this Hari Katha, if anything good has come from my mouth, that's by the grace of Balaram. That's by the grace of my Guru Pad Padma. Paramaraditama Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. And from our Shiksha Gurus, our Shravan Gurus. We've heard so much from Pujapad Bhaktivedanta Bhan Maharaj, and especially from Pujapad Pandit Pravar Srila Bhaktivedanta Madhusudan Goswami Maharaj. So much. This Hari Katha, these beautiful things is not my things. These are their things. Especially Pujapad Madhusudan Maharaj is giving me the shelter of Krishna Balaram. Because I'm staying there in Krishna Balaram Mandir at Balaram's feet. I never had any feeling of relationship with him before I came there. And staying there, living with him, taking his prasadam every day, some sprout of affection is coming. And by that, all fear is being destroyed. Balaram he's Dauji, he's our big brother too. They say big brother is watching. Well, there's another meaning. It's not, big brother is watching isn't a thing to fear. Big brother is watching is, well, thank God. Big brother's watching. He's watching and protecting. You want to do my brother's seva? You want to do Krishna's seva? But don't fear, I have a big club and a big plow. Any stones in your field, I'll take care of that. Any obstacles in your way, I'll smash that. Baladeva is our great, great guardian. And our Gurudev. And he comes, his Prakash is our Guru. Our Diksha Guru, our Shiksha Guru, our Checha Guru. So I can't be ungrateful if I don't take the name of my holy masters and give all credit. Any good Hari Katha is coming, anything sweet is coming, it's completely their thing. I'm just carrying their shoes, trying to do that much. Their conceptions. And inside those shoes is dust of their feet, their bhav, their moods. Waiting for that dust. Okay. So Krishna Balaram Ji Maharaj ki jai jai. Jai ho. Yaji Baya ki jai ho. Krishna Kanaya ki jai ho. Vrishabhanu Nandini Shrimati Radhika Thakurani ki jai. Look at that. How great is Radharani that even Baladev becomes her maidservant, becomes her baby sister to live with her in the same house and to be her dasi. She Ananga Manjari. In Ananga Manjari she appears in this world as Janava Thakurani, the Shakti and the wife of Nityananda Prabhu. And we are coming in her line. We are coming in her line. Like Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, Shri Janava Pada Padma Korya Smaran Dina Krishna Dasa Kohe Nama Sankirtan. I'm fallen, but I'm a servant of Krishna. I'm Dina Krishna Das. I may be Dinan, but I'm Krishna Das. No one can take that from me because I have it in my DNA, because I came from Baladev. I am Krishna Das. Fallen as I may be, and I'm doing Sankirtan, remembering the lotus feet of Shri Janava Thakurani. By Diksha, we're in her line. She's our Guru. Really, she's big Acharya. She's the Shakti of Nityananda. Nityananda Prabhu, Balaram in the form of Nityananda is unlimitedly merciful. But his Shakti, his Karuna Shakti, how famous he is for his unlimited, causeless, almost insane mercy. How he gives, throwing everywhere to everyone, even the Jagais and Madais and gutter dogs like me. But she is his mercy. She is his Karuna Shakti. He's merciful, but she's the mercy. Manifest. So we're praying for that. Grace, we are coming also in this line. We initiated in the line of Janava, in the line of that Karuna Shakti, Balaram's maid service aspirations. Krishna Balaram is so great, but we can't forget the mercy we want is one prayer in our life. We want to be the Dasi of Radhika, not less than that. The topmost limit of pleasure for Krishna, the highest possible happiness and service, we're praying for Balaram to give us that glance, that mercy. You can give every type of service, from being a cup at Krishna's lips, the shoes on his feet, cowherd boy, a cow, a peacock. You can make me anything. You can give any type of bhav. You have everything. The whole treasury is with you. Well, I only want that. I only want the shelter of Radhika's lotus feet. So Baladev, especially in your form as Ananga Manjari, I'm begging for your causeless mercy. Please glance upon us. Give us the strength and the wisdom that we need to follow the path that will bring us there in due course. Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai ho. Ananga Manjari ki jai. Krishna Chandra ki jai. Any questions? Jai Shri Ma.
When you said that when Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda met, there was a verse that was said. Who said the verse?
Bharapidam Natavadavapo. Srivas Thakur recited it, but it's from Venugita. It's from Bhagavatam, Canto 10, chapter 21, I think. Vraja Gopis are saying. They're saying, it's in their mind. It's their perception of those brothers, but it's their bhav. In the Bhagavatam, there's different verses describing Krishna's beauty, but this is the one, the topmost verse of Bhagavatam describing the beauty of Krishna's form. Barhapidam Natavadavapo Karnayo Karnakaram. Very famous. Xavier.
I was thinking, who was Arjuna in past life?
In his past life? Huh?
Who was Arjuna next to Krishna in some past life and all that?
Past life. Oh, you mean other incarnations?
Other incarnation.
You know, most associates of the Lord, according to his like Ram has his particular associates, Krishna has his associates. We only have one, we are one. God can take all types of forms and do all types of pastimes, but we have one nature. So it's most only are with that particular form of the Lord who's their Ishtadev. Understand? It means our soul, we don't know our soul right now, our form. It's like a seed in our heart. But when you put water on a seed, it sprouts and it grows, and whatever it is manifests. You know, if it's an apple seed, it becomes an apple tree. If it's a whatever, pomegranate, it becomes a pomegranate. So when we become mature, when everything is inside of us, but when we do bhakti under guidance of Shri Guru, it will come out, our eternal nature. And our eternal nature is a specific mood of service. And that mood is directed to a specific form of God. God may be one, but we only love Ram if our heart is like that. If our eternal nature is inclined to Ram, then when it comes out, all we know in the whole world is Ram's lotus feet. And if we love Krishna, then it's Krishna's lotus feet. So Arjuna, he's Krishna Bhakta. He's not a Ram Bhakta. He's not Vishnu Bhakta. He's a Krishna Bhakta. So he's an eternal associate of Krishna specifically. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu breaks all the rules because he comes with all bhavs inside of him. So all different associates appear in his pastimes with him. Hanuman is there. And Arjuna is also there in Ramananda Roy. But the general principle is we only have one self. We're not more than one person. We have one self.
With that said, since you said so much, when you have so much love for your guru, how do you transfer that to the great God? If you have so much love for your guru.
Yeah, that's the way that we love God. You can't love God without giving your heart to your Gurudev. That's how we love God. He's called, Srila Prabhupada used to say, Sri Guru is the transparent via medium. Like through an open window you can see the world outside. Well, through Gurudev you can know Krishna. We don't know Krishna. I never heard before Gurudev came into my life through his books and through his conceptions. I never ever dreamed that there was such a thing as the lotus foot dust of Srimati Radhika. Or Balarama, or any of these things. Govardhan, Radhakund, Vrindavan Dham, Sevakunj. This astonishing reality I never ever dreamed of. And Gurudev, he opened the door, so he is the axis of everything. He's my connection. So out of appreciation for all those things and love and hope for all those things, we go through the door, and the only way of moving in spiritual life is by love. So going through the door means giving your heart there.
I received namaste. I received it.
We learned that different personalities are in a particular mood or in a particular ras, Vatsalya ras, Bhakti ras. But is Balaramji, we find him as an Ananga Manjari, also in Vatsalya ras. So does he take part in also in all of these different rasas? Is he an exception or?
Yeah, he's God.
So
like Krishna has the desire. Krishna, they're both the same thing, but from two opposite sides. Krishna has a desire to taste every type of ras. He wants to be adored, to be served, and be loved by every possible kind of mood. And Balaram wants to love and adore in every possible mood. Because he's God, just like Krishna can taste everything, Balaram is also God. And he wants to taste everything from the giving side. So yeah, he's definitely involved in every ras. He's the guru of everything.
How can sometimes multiple personalities appear in one person?
Why do you say that?
Because you just mentioned Arjun and Ramananda.
Yeah.
And Haridas Thakur is also some kind.
Yeah.
How does, because we are taught that Jiva is indivisible. So please.
Yeah, like Mother Yashoda. So it's such a complicated tattva. But there's an eternal, like Prishni and Sutapa, right? There was two devotees who did tapasya long time ago. For a long time they worshipped Vishnu, standing on their heads with one feet in the air and everything. And finally Vishnu appeared to them and they said, "We want a son like you, we want a son like you, we want a son like you." And he said, "Well, there's nobody like me." So I'll become your son. And because you asked me 3 times, then 3 times I'll become your son. He became Krishna Garva, he became Kapila, and he became Vasudeva Krishna to Devaki and Vasudeva. And then there was 2 other devotees who also did tapasya, but they did worship to Brahmaji, not to God directly, but to the devotee. And when Brahmaji came, they said, we want Vatsalya praying for the Lord. They didn't say we want the Lord as our son, they said we want Vatsalya bhav, praying. And they said, okay, and they got it. And they, because they came under the guidance of devotees, and because they prayed for bhav and praying, and not for Krishna himself. A goal of our spiritual practice is not to get Krishna, it's to get love for Krishna. Because they came in the right channel and prayed the right way, they were so blessed that those devotees, they entered into the bodies of Nanda and Yashoda. They tasted Krishna on their lap, Krishna at their breast. They tasted all of Krishna's childhood pastimes, whereas Devaki and Vasudeva missed everything because they were locked in prison. And Krishna's over there, in Vrindavan. So they, Nanda Yashoda, are eternal Nitya Parikars. They're eternal associates of Krishna. They were never sadhaks in this world practicing. But those sadhaks in this world who wanted that bhav to fulfill their desire, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yayatam mam prapadyante mam tataiva bhajamyaham. As you desire me, as you approach me, I will reciprocate. You want to love me like this? This is my nature, my style. I will fulfill your desire. Anyhow you want to love me, I will fulfill that. So they wanted to love him like parents, but he already has parents. And so they entered into the body of Nanda Yashoda, who are eternal associates. And inside of them, within them, they tasted the mood of Nanda and Yashoda. They were feeling completely identified there. It's a really mysterious thing. They didn't become Nanda Yashoda, but they became tadatmik, one heart with Nanda Yashoda. Merged without melting in an impersonal way. It's very deep tattva because he's unlimited. He has durgata gatana shakti. He has the power to make the impossible possible. You want to love him in a particular way, he has no limits in fulfilling that desire. So in that way, associates, they enter into like that. But there's the original person there. The original eternal associate. Like Ramananda Roy is an original person. Arjuna entered into him. But Arjuna is not Ramananda Roy. Ramananda Roy is Vishaka. A whole other category of another rasa. So for those pastimes that are in fraternity, that are in friendship, Arjuna is there experiencing that. And he may vicariously get some by great fortune, from the vicariously he may experience the mood of Vishaka, the deep Madhurya Ras that Mahaprabhu tastes with Ramananda Roy through Kirtan. He may get some of that. But he doesn't become Ramananda and he doesn't become Vishaka. Okay? Any other question? Yeah, last chance. We're going to college tomorrow, but tomorrow's questions will be of another nature. What's your name again?
Aman.
You alright? Nice to see you again.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Hunter College?
No, but I'll be there tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, everyone's satisfied? And a little kirtan, and we'll do arti?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do arti. You're doing. I don't know, your standard is, I'm sure, 1,000 times.
Oh, please do it.
I'm like lazy Babaji style. I don't know proper arti. Minimalist. All I know is Mora.
Hello?
Oh, if anybody's interested, we do have a few books.
Tomorrow,
My favorite book,
5.
Bhakti Rasaya.
Oh, the
and
other
some
one?
Hari